What is up?
PHOSPHOR.com. Go
That's
get
called.
yourself one of these.
Phosphor watches.
After seeing the watches firsthand and getting to play with one last
You got
week,
really
I went
excited
out,
about it, didn't
I
you?
went out and bought my own.
I knew you were going to do that shit,
Yeah.
man. George is all about his swag, and if you're about your swag, you will rush over to phosphorwatches.com.
And let's put in, what, is it Kevin White?
It is Kevin 30 to get $30 off any watch. Did you do that when you bought your new one?
See what
You
happened.
probably see you were slipping. You were slipping. Kevin 30 to get $30 off of any watch. Also, the most important thing is if they go to our October giveaway, they have a chance to get one for free.
Right, you just got to blaze it.
Yes.
Good luck, though.
Yeah, because these people are going crazy with this.
Yeah,
one.
they're not messing around this time. So here's the thing: if you win it, congratulations, it's a gift. If you don't like it, but you should like it because they're fucking nice watches.
Really nice watch.
Silly
It's really
gooses.
cool, man.
Now,
And if you don't win the watch, you still have a chance to win free iTunes gift cards. So
yeah, and everyone has iTunes.
that's right. Now let's talk about some MMA.
Yep, we had another event, and we have another event next week, and an event after that, and an event after that, and yeah. So, UFC on FX5. We're just going to touch on the winners and
highlights.
losers. Yeah, and there's not. I mean, I'm not going to say there's not a lot of highlights, but I'd say two people really helped themselves: António Silva and John Dodson.
Yeah.
António Silva helped himself by keeping his job.
Yeah.
But the unfortunate thing for António Silva, there's not too many guys in front of him I think he can beat.
Yeah, well, two of the guys in front of him have already beat him.
Right.
And
Alistair Wood.
Yeah, and Alistair Wood. And if he ever did manage to work his way to get
JDS.
a title shot with JDS, I think he would probably be the third one of those two men that's in front of him has already knocked him out. So, I mean, it was great for Bigfoot Silva. It was good. I mean,
Now, his opponent, on the other hand?
really just, first of all, he was doing some wild stuff. He was holding on to the cage. And he obviously had a knee injury. He suffered a knee injury in the first round, but I just thought he should have been more conservative. He was just doing some outlandish shit, man, and I think it just got him. I mean, he was getting countered all the fucking time. We're talking about Travis Browne.
Anyway, it'll be interesting to see how long it's going to take him to recover from the knee injury and who he fights his first fight back, because that was his first loss.
Now, people are saying Antonio Bigfoot Silva, a good opponent for him would be Stefan Struve. I agree with that.
That'd be interesting.
Him fighting the skyscraper.
But
it's like one huge. Go ahead.
It would look like a sideshow circus thing out of like the 70s
really would.
or the 60s or whenever they did those traveling circuses. Now, on to the other big winner of the night. I would say it's John Dodson. Dodson won his fight, which lands his next opponent will now be Demetrius Johnson.
Yeah, and that's it.
This will be Demetrius Johnson's first title defense.
Yeah.
So we'll get to see what it takes to be the champ.
John Dodson is, in my opinion, the first person in a long time to come out of the Ultimate Fighter that is really good. I mean, in his class, he is in a while. I mean, I think the last person that you
What's
really.
the Ultimate Fighter?
Exactly.
Oh, that's that show on Friday that just got beat last week by SmackDown. And for you people who don't know what SmackDown is, that's staged wrestling.
Right.
That's we're gonna
It's
go.
not real.
Yeah.
Although somebody's going to walk right on the comment board that we're fucking assholes.
The contact and the bumps and the physicality is real.
Physicality.
It's real.
You can't.
But it is staged like no one's business. And how do you? That's like losing to a soap opera.
It really is.
You have a semi-live, well, not even live, but you have real fighting versus we already know the outcome, and you can't even beat fake fighting.
The Ultimate Fighter is just, I'm sorry, it's boring as balls now. It's just and it's not, forget the talent. The talent is, I hope all these guys have successful careers in MMA. But the bottom line is you're seeing the same thing over and over and over and over again. They got to change something.
20 guys in a house with alcohol and no outside, nothing.
Now, with that being said, Dodson still is one of the best guys to come out of that house in a long time because he is definitely probably in the top 4 in his weight class.
Can he beat Demetrius Johnson?
I actually think I think John Dodson can beat Mighty Mouse. I think he's full of energy, but I can't stand.
So in other words, what Kevin's getting at is get ready for a 4-series match.
Yeah.
Between John Dodson and Demetrius Johnson.
No.
Now, before we get on to other MMA news, I had a question.
Sure.
And this is what I want to ask you. With boxing and mixed martial arts, all of the other affiliations, and do you think the champion should be held to a different standard? And what I mean by that is because we're still having all these people being pulled out of fights. Does a champ owe the organization should he be at a different standard? Should he go, well, I'm the champ, I should fight? Is what I'm getting at. Because some people say, look, you're the champ, you should be fighting.
Well, okay, so you're the champ. I think. I don't know. That's hard from a business standpoint.
I'm talking about strictly from like, yeah. See, and that's the unfortunate thing. Now, as fighters, you have to look at it from a business standpoint because somebody like Anderson, somebody like John Jones, somebody like GSP, a loss could be detrimental.
And the thing is that if you're a promoter like or a president like Dana White or Bob Abrams or any of these guys, Oscar De La Hoya, you look at your commodity. You're like, okay, this person's bringing me X amount of dollars. I don't want him to lose. I don't want him to look bad.
But at least one person you said there doesn't play by that rule, doesn't have that mindset. Dana doesn't give a shit.
No, he doesn't.
Dana thinks you're in this organization, you should fight when I tell you to fight, you should fight who I should think you should fight.
Right.
Now, the boxing promoters, they're dealing with a pay scale that's much different.
Right.
And here's the difference. If Floyd Mayweather had a loss and he was fighting Manny Pacquiao, or Floyd Mayweather didn't have a loss and he was fighting Manny Pacquiao, how do you think he'd make more money?
Right.
Without the loss.
Well, that just gives you a good idea. That really tells you how much money's in boxing.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does, because it's like you can wait and say.
So here's my question: if you were the champ and you were in a John Jones-esque situation, not the same one, but you had 8 weeks to train, what would you do? You being the champ.
If I had 8 weeks to train and I was in John Jones' shoes right now, currently, like he's like the situation.
You had that talent.
I had that talent, and I was the champion. And okay,
you had 8 weeks.
I had 8 weeks to fight, and
just an opponent. No, he gives you your opponent 8 weeks out. But you've been training all the other time for another opponent. You as the champ, do you feel you owe it to the organization and to the fans to go and fight?
That's a hard one, man, because it depends how many times I fought that year. Twice so far that year.
So it's the end of the year, and you usually fight 4 times a year. So you're right about your midpoint.
Yeah, I would do it then.
Would you?
Circumstances.
Now, if you weren't the champ, would you even hesitate?
It depends on my financial situations, to be honest with you. Like, if I was up and coming, I wasn't the champ, and I thought, okay, it's 8 weeks. I don't have a lot of time.
Well, you're supposed to fight in 8 weeks. You're going to be fighting in 8 weeks.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to fight.
So obviously you need the money. So now the money's not an option.
I'm going to fight. Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't matter who's in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to fight. I mean, I want to fight somebody under any circumstances, but I'm thinking, okay, what's best for my career? Am I pushing it? Am I gambling, if I'm not prepared? So there's some things I take into consideration, but I'd want to fight.
So that's what I'm getting at. Do you feel, as a champion of an organization, the champion should owe more and feel more obligated to step up and take a fight on short notice, or to fight an opponent that he or she is not ready to fight, in the sense that hasn't been training to fight that person?
Right.
So me, double guns, shorty, I ain't fighting no one without at least 3 months. I'm not doing it.
I think a lot of people are going to take your route. I mean, I'm kind of with you on that one.
There's just too much money, because here's the thing. At John Jones's level, and most of these guys at that level, you're not making yes, you're making a large chunk of money from the UFC, but a lot of it's from endorsements and other things.
And you lose them if you lose.
But I'm gonna tell you what: if I'm Charlie Brenneman, who's currently out of a job for being the stand-up, I'm fighting.
Yeah,
like it
just depends on your circumstances, your financial situation. You might be somebody retired like a Liddell who's made loads of money.
Stephen Bonner,
or people. Yeah,
Stephen Bonner literally said, "I was in retirement."
Yeah, or somebody who who's had a good career, who's put money away, who's made a lot of money in mixed martial arts, and they could be like, they don't really care. You know what I mean? So, anyway, let's talk
other MMA news.
Yeah,
I think Jeremy Stevens was supposed to fight this past weekend, right?
That was one of the other things that was messed up with UFC on FX5. I mean, there was just Dana White probably was shitting himself, because first of all, fucking Hallman didn't make weight, so that was off. Okay, then Jeremy Stevens gets arrested in Minnesota, and Dana White's like, "No, he didn't get arrested. No, what are you guys talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't." He got arrested.
Dana, here's the police blotter. He got arrested. That's false.
Now, the bizarre thing about this whole arrest was that in 2011, Jeremy Stevens was at a homecoming party. And
I'm sorry, at a what?
It was like a homecoming party.
Like high school, or like Jeremy Stevens lives in Minnesota, coming home party?
They didn't. I didn't really get that part. I didn't really get that part. Not like he's a homecoming high school. I think just like homecoming,
Because we'll talk about that in NFL segment. There's an NFL cheerleader who just pled guilty to banging one of her students when she was an English teacher. I'm like, that's a home I'd come.
And I know Cincinnati Bengals cheerleaders too. Now that's no joke. I'm dead serious. But anyway, an altercation happened at this.
Oh shit, son!
Thing. Jeremy Stevens was never initially
implicated
on whatever, and then he was located. Then eventually he was pointed out as possibly one of the suspects. Well, they've known where he's at. This happened a year ago. obviously, you see Jeremy Stevens shit all over the place. You know he's been in San Diego. He has a Twitter. He has a fucking webpage. They know where to find him. His address. He hasn't been hiding. He's been out in the place. He's been fighting, right? He goes to Minnesota to fight this fight, and they're like, you know what? Let's go get him now. That's some fucking dirty, grimy shit. That is some dirty, grimy shit.
That's hilarious.
It is fucked up.
But that tells me right there that the case can't be that serious and somebody really didn't get hurt that bad if they can wait that long to pick them up.
They just want to fuck with them.
Yep.
Yeah.
So obviously somebody's got a grudge because let me tell you, it might have happened in a small town where the sheriff's got a raging hard on to make an example out of Mr. Stevens.
Now, I tell you.
And now I tell you what, if they have a DA,
no boy, no.
So depending on what happened, this could be bad.
It could be bad.
But I don't know. Speculation.
Do you think it could be any worse for Jason Mayhem Miller? Your boy Jason Mayhem
He's
Miller?
off his...
I don't know if you guys have had the opportunity, but you might want to go.
No, you shouldn't.
We not that we really promote this guy, but Helwani did an interview with Jason Mayhem Miller.
And Kevin enlightened me to the fact that when Ariel tried to get a job, like a visa here, Mayhem actually wrote a note on his behalf, and like they have a history that goes way back.
They're
and
friends.
Like, they're buddies.
They're friends, and he's promoting obviously the movie Here Comes the Boom because he's in it, and
and no one's going to watch that.
I think you don't think
Stop
anyone's going to watch
that.
it. Really?
Stop. Don't you even go watch that
Right.
shit. I'm sorry, but that dude is one of the most. I don't like. What's it? Kevin James.
Kevin James.
He's one of the most unfunny people I've ever seen in my entire life. He's not.
I think
funny.
people are going to go because you're going to get the MMA enthusiasts that go watch it.
Why?
And you're
But it's not
an
Emma. It's a.
Kinda. I mean, you're going to. But anyway,
Mayhem goes
Miller.
to do an interview with Ariel and never breaks character.
He never.
Andy Kaufman, and
Right.
he's not Andy Kaufman.
He's not Andy Kaufman, and his character, I forgot what his Lucky something. Or whatever,
Everyone forgot it already.
Everybody
It's not
forgot
even
it.
out yet.
He would not break character, and Helwani's trying to say, "Hey, look, dude. Okay, time to break character. Let's do a serious interview and stuff like this." He would not break it, and it gets to the point where he just flips the fuck out. In the
Well,
studio.
see, here's my problem. If you go watch the video, because Kevin unfortunately subjected me to that horse shit, and I sat there and I literally, Kevin can tell you, and when at the end I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, if I'm Ariel Helwani and I'm that concerned for Mayhem, I'm going to turn off the cameras. And at no point did he turn off the cameras.
Well, and you wouldn't post it.
Right.
So that's another thing.
So
you know
there's
it could
too
be
many.
something that's fishy about
like here's
it.
the
Who knows?
thing: if I'm that concerned, like right now, if you started flipping shit, I'm not going to leave the fucking videotape on because some shit might happen, and I don't want it to get out.
Like when the mug knocked on my door. That
Yeah.
Right.
That didn't need to get out.
Look, George, I'm gonna tell you what. We don't have the footage, but literally, there was somebody knocking on my door trying to serve me papers.
Do y'all remember the video where I'm talking about you got served and all that? That was that time.
Literally, we're filming, and it's like a
No. It's up.
like
That police knock, that we've all heard it. We've all been that 15, 16-year-old kid in the hotel room. Police! And then your bowels evacuate because
Right.
you're not sure because you got a fifth of something in your
And
hand.
the fucked up thing, it wasn't a cop, but the hilarious thing about it is after I went to the door and came back, George, we played back the video, and George is like this the whole time. He's like this, going. And then finally he just goes. And he reaches and he hits the remote and the fucking video goes dead. It was fucking funny.
Yeah,
And James was fucking howling when
I'm
he saw
sure.
that shit.
But anyway, so
well, we're getting the fuck out of here. We've talked enough about MMA.
yeah,
and, you guys-
go look at the Mayhem Miller. Tell us if you think it's fake or not, and then the other thing, answer my champ question.
Yeah, and then take your asses over to phosphorwatches.
Yeah, and then blaze that shit.
Blaze
Try to
that
win
shit,
your
man. Win a free one.
And if not, just put in Kevin 30 and get $30 off. Look,
Word up.
Christmas is around the corner.
It is. Y'all don't gotta have to go deep in your pockets if you get $30 off.
$100
Trying to help some
watch,
brothers
30
and
off, that's
sisters out.
7,
We're out.
See you, bye.